Yo, welcome people. It's your boy John Toronto of the We Can Be Heroes podcast on the Sidelines Network. I'm back and ready, baby. Last week we talked a little bit about that Marvel content. You know, they've been pissing us off a lot lately. So I said, you know what? Let's go to DC and get pissed off even more because that's what we do. We like to get pissed off. We like to talk a lot of shit. I'm here. You're one of your co-hosts, of course. Welcome. Happy to be here and talk with you guys about everything DC. We'll get into the projects that Mr. James Gunn, who I do trust a little bit, see what he can do with this new world that he's building over here. But here's my little brother, Matthew Toronto, co-host. How we doing?
What's up, brother? How you doing? It's good to see you again. Back at it.
Back at it again. Back to back, Derrick. Derrick, by the way, we all know Padrino. I can't even do the little tongue thing right now. Padrino, right? I do a little Italian. You know, we know El Padrino, the offer you can't refuse. My
yes,
man,
sir.
The owner, black and proud, my dog, Derrick Myers, the owner of OTS. Welcome, baby, to join our We Can Be Heroes podcast. And how you doing?
I'm good. Glad to be back. It's been a minute, man. I'm glad y'all are back too, man.
Me and Derrick ain't been on screen together, I think, like a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
what was the last episode we did?
We Can Be Heroes? We did
we did a list with
WandaVision. We did WandaVision. Yeah, we did WandaVision. That was right after the COVID delay.
And top 5 Marvel movies. Yep.
Yes. We had our top 5 lists. Damn, that was holy shit.
That was a while.
I always try to say, Derrick, you know, I'm pretty, but when you join the screen, I feel like I'm prettier. You know what I mean? So you rise the room. You rise the room.
You are prettier,
you know what
bro. Like
that's Derrick just knows how to make other people look great. Because look at that man. Just look at him. At him.
Man.
But hey, no, we're excited to have you here, Derrick. We are excited to be back with the We Can Be Heroes. I know you're excited to hear that we were back and ready to go at it. There's been a ton of content out there with the Marvel stuff, the Star Wars stuff that's out there we're going to be talking about in the future. But right now, we got to get right into it. I think but there was a huge announcement, right? Everybody was waiting all the way going back to January. Actually, even further back than that, James Gunn was announced as the lead or the direct, the runner of the DC Studios, Warner Bros. Studios, whatever they call themselves over there. I don't know what the hell they call themselves these days. But James Gunn is, he's running it. He's the Kevin Feige of DC. They now call it the DCU, which is dope. He had us wait a very long time to finally get this announcement of the projects that they're going to do and what is and isn't canon. We go back to Black Adam and Henry Cavill. Did you watch Black Adam, Derrick?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I didn't want to spoil, you know what I mean? The post-credit scenes of Black Adam, obviously we get Henry Cavill back as Superman, and then James Gunn says, got you, bitch. He's actually not. So all of us were confused. We had no idea what direction they're going through. But Matthew, what's your thoughts? I guess both of you take your turns with this, but where's DC going? Like where are they now, right? We all know that the projects coming out for the rest of this year that apparently are canon, but aren't. What the hell is going on with DC?
Yeah, there's a lot going wrong with DC. No, I mean, what
I love it.
What are we even like? That's gonna give me a headache even thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know. To tell you the truth, like their slate was so lame. Honestly, it was so confusing, and obviously we'll get more into it about like specific projects, but the one that stands out to me is the new Batman movie coming out. Batman, was it Brave and the Bold?
Brave and the Bold, correct.
Yeah. Like I'll like, this to simplify, and we'll have more in-depth discussion about it, but like I don't understand how you can have a 40-something-year-old Batman and introduce not the first, not the second, not the third, but the fourth Robin when we haven't seen the Bat family at all on screen. So you're just going to bring in Nightwing. You're going to presumably bring in Jason Todd, which I don't know if he had much connection to the Brave and the Bold storyline, but let's assume they do, right? you know what I mean, like Batgirl, which I don't even know. Like the point being, I don't even know.
There's a background
Like
movie hanging out somewhere
literally,
out there apparently.
like
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
it's just it's mind boggling. Like you can't like no, and it's confusing too because we have Robert Pattinson's version of Batman, which is Elseworlds,
Right.
right? I don't know. I don't I like they're just overdoing it.
I mean, like so the thing I've really tried to put together in my mind, right? Because I'm obviously being big Marvel fans, we know that the multiversal story is coming with Marvel, King the Conqueror being the main focal point of that. To be honest, and if you know or have read the comics or involved with any of the DC and Marvel multiversal storylines, DC like destroys Marvel in content. Like the multiversal story in DC is amazing, right? And if they do it well, great. But there's not even a word that we're doing that. We're just being told, like, we got a list of all these movies that are coming out. The Brave and the Bold, 40-year-old Batman. We're not using the same Batman anymore. I mean, honestly, if you just stayed with Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, right? If you stayed with Batfleck, maybe Brave and the Bold makes sense because we already skipped a lot of the storyline behind the fact, right? So it continues that story. But no, we're resetting, but still giving you an old Batman, of which we didn't see any, like Matthew said, any of the background of the story at all. I don't need Martha and fucking whatever his name. What's his father's name?
Thomas.
Thomas and Martha Wayne. I don't need to see them die again. I don't need the Superman and Batman to say your mom's Martha too. I don't care about that. I truly, I've seen Martha been shot so many times on live screen. That poor woman is like going through hell. Okay, so we don't need to see this. I get it. I don't need the full background, James Gunn, but we need some context, right? Like you have a Batgirl film that is apparently one of the worst abominations since the 1998 Batman Robin film, when every famous actor was in it.
I heard the opposite.
It was
I heard
better than
it
that.
was phenomenal. I heard it was one of the phenomenal film.
It was also done by the previous leadership, so James Gunn couldn't even have any control over bringing it back. They literally like just took the project, wrote
locked it up,
did a tax write-off, and just put it in the vault.
So now that makes sense. I didn't know that part.
Oh, yeah. What the hell? So it's actually supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently, what was it? Batgirl and I forgot who else is in that film outside of Michael Keaton.
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. Yeah, she and Brendan Fraser had a fight scene that was supposed to be phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. That would have been. I wanted to see it. To me, it was one of those.
Brendan Fraser
was in
Doom
that
Patrol.
Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
He's in Doom Patrol.
Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, but excuse me. But yeah, they had some fight scene that was supposed to be really good. I wanted to see it on HBO Max. Like it made sense to me. Just release it on there.
Right.
Move forward. Like what I was assuming they were going to do with the Flash movie. Release it and then move forward. But
as James starts his announcement, because it was, of course, all this anticipation, and honestly, the longer he waited, the more or the less confident I became in that it was going to be a good announcement, right?
Yeah.
I left that video, whatever you want to call it, more confused than ever with DC, right? They have all of these new projects that are listed out, but in the beginning he goes, "Oh, we have Shazam coming out. We have The Flash, which is an amazing film, and it's going to help reset the DCU." But then we have Aquaman after. Well, if the DCU is reset, does that not mean Aquaman needs to be completely refilmed? I mean,
that's another thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Derrick. You're fine. I just.
Oh no! What's confusing to me about it is like apparently Jason Momoa is up for Lobo, and they're going to switch him over to Lobo.
What the fuck?
So I don't know, like,
I mean, so granted, a lot of these rumors are out there because the DC fans are pissed, right? So they're putting shit on the wall and hoping it sticks to piss fans off and cause drama. Gunn is actually responding to a lot of these people lying and saying that's not what I said, that's not what's happening. Like, Gunn's very interactive on Twitter. I don't know if you guys follow him or not, but he will literally respond to anybody that lies, right? And he said that's not what I'm doing. So I respect that, and he's given us the full story behind it, but it's just so confusing. Like, if he would have said simply, we're pushing the flashback to the end of the year, we're allowing Shazam and Aquaman to flow through whatever storyline we have for them. They might suck. It is what it is, right? Because I think those are only 3 projects this year for DC. I'm pretty sure. And the Flash is totally going to reset the DCU. You're going to have your new Batman. You're going to have your new Superman. Whatever. And then we're going to have Elseworlds for different projects of people that can be a little more creative without the idea of a whole cinematic combined universe. If you just said that, that's fine. But you're allowing the Flash to be in smack dab in the middle of the fucking year, right after Shazam, right before Aquaman, and then still letting Aquaman come out, which apparently pre-screening of it, horrible. Like, one of the worst films out there because they had to cut out a lot of it because of Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Fuck Amber Heard.
Which,
anyway, sorry.
The one thing that confuses me about the lineup is you're getting a younger Superman, right? And you're supposed to have an old Batman or older Batman.
Yeah.
So I don't get the combination.
Yes. I said, bro,
I don't get
when that came out. And John can tell you, I texted the chat and said the same shit. I said that dynamic is going to be weird as fuck.
Yeah.
A 40-year-old interacting with a 20-something-year-old Superman makes no sense. They are literally supposed to,
unless it was Batfleck and they just reset, let Batfleck stay in. Like, at least the story fits somehow in some combined way. It's still weird as shit.
Something I prefer them go with Robert Pattinson's version because he fits that age.
So I kind of agree, and I thought Matt and I talked about this, like, obviously off the podcast, but I don't think he fits in what DCU is looking to do. So, and hear me out.
Okay.
I love Reese's Batman. Pattinson is amazing as that detective type Batman.
Yes.
Do I think, and Batman himself in the comics, does he grow from that detective very young to that superhero Justice League? Yes, I understand that. I can't see Pattinson getting there, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. He's been part of Twilight, so he's been part of some major conglomerates in the past. But do you really see him being able to pull off like that Bruce, like the Justice League Bruce from the animated movies? I don't know. It's a different type.
I don't think. Well, here's the thing. I think he could. Oh, because he looks young in the movie.
Yeah,
and I don't know how old he is, but I would venture to say he's somewhere around like the mid-30s, closer to his 40s. Yeah.
In real life or in the story?
In real life. Yeah.
Yes.
No, real life.
The storyline, I think he's 28, right, Matt? Around there?
Yeah, it's like somewhere around there.
Yeah. So my concern would be, like, how long are you keeping it, the storyline, right? Like, I think he could age well into the older Batman.
Oh yeah.
I think he could if they held on to it. I think that would make sense. But I don't understand the purpose of getting a younger Superman if you have an older Batman. Like, I just don't. If you're gonna go for younger Superman, combine that younger Superman with Robert Pattinson's version. I think that Reeves universe, like, is just perfect. That the Penguin was amazing.
Oh, I agree.
Catwoman was amazing.
Right.
Batman was amazing. Like, those portrayals all in one, and we're getting a show and all that. Like, I think it makes sense to just go with that. Like, let that start the foundation of the DC, because Batman is the foundation.
The founder of DC. I agree with that. Yeah.
I don't understand how you're not going with that direction, because it's like the most common sense.
So I guess I'm kind of failing in the sense that he did so well. Why can't I expect him to do well with a developed Batman? Right.
I feel that.
I mean, so that's my debate. Like, do I think he can actually do it? I mean, so far, and technically, he's shown the track record he can, right? So maybe I should have that confidence like you do. And I agree. I think a total scratch is everything from scratch. You can't be throwing these characters all in different timelines and places. And, I don't care about the Elseworld stuff. Like, I'm cool with, Joker being its own separate thing. Batman never even has to appear, right? I'm good with Constantine 2 is technically DC. Constantine, the second one, they're making the second one. That's going to be separate. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Superman, the Black Superman is going to be a separate Elseworlds thing, and eventually maybe that becomes, again, Elseworlds is actually a storyline. I don't know if you guys know that. Like, that's the first phase of the multiversal storyline is called Elseworlds. So Gunn has plans to combine it all, right? In some way, either just showing them quickly in cameos or whatever. All of these characters are going to be part of the multiversal storyline if they approach it. I'm not sure if they will. We'll see. Because the CW, and I know CW is awful to mention ever, but in the first ever, or I guess multiversal storyline in CW, the crossover episodes, the 5 episodes, were called Elseworlds. Like, that's what it is. It's different storylines, different spaces, different everything. They're only kind of just shown in cameo kind of form, right? Which is the purpose, and I get that. But and back to your Superman legacy, I think they're calling it, right? Your Superman legacy. With a young Superman, it doesn't make sense. So and again, I don't know if you guys know this specific comic, but I do. So the legacy comics are quite literally that. Right, it's the legacy of the Superman that's been existing in this world. It's supposed to be an older Superman. That comic line is an older Superman. So you not only told us that we're going, it would make sense. Raven the Bold would make sense. I just, what's crazy, and I swear, not because we're podcasting today, I had the urge to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I know it has nothing to do with this at all, any of this, right? But at the end of it, it was that futuristic scene with him, the Joker, Amber Heard's character, Deathstroke, and the Flash, right before Cable pops up to kill him or whatever. And Joker's talking about how he killed one of the boy wonders and all the stuff that they're, the anger that they have between each other. And I'm thinking, if they were to reset this world and let Affleck continue, have him redeem himself with Damian Wayne. Like, he is angry. He was killing in Batman versus Superman. He was a terrible Batman. Like, that's not a great actor and a great character, but terrible as a bad person, right? Like, he was a bad Batman. And Damian could have been his chance to redeem himself, because Damian's a fucking piece of shit. Like, Damian's awful in the comics. Damian's awful in the animated series and movies. He is just a shitty son. Like, he just hates his dad. He makes it clear. He hates everyone. He said, fuck. He literally said word for word, fuck the Teen Titans. And I don't know if you guys watched the most recent animated movie. It was Damian and Superman's son, Jonathan.
I just watched
it. Just came out, I think, like last month. And he literally, like, he's on the phone with the Titans. They're like, he's like, fuck you guys. He hangs up the phone. Like, he is a shithead. And I love it. I totally love it. But what better way for Batfleck or I keep saying Batfleck, you don't have to call him that, whatever. But to look at Damian and say, well, fuck, he's turning into me. I haven't even had this kid more than a week. You know what I mean? And that's Batman's redemption arc. Right.
No,
and then
I
when
agree
we get, he's, whether it's a reset and then you still proceed towards that dark side storyline. If you guys know the dark side storyline, the animated series, I'm sure, or movies, I'm sure you watch those. Like, Damian's probably the top 3 important character in that storyline. Like, he brings Batman back, right? From that the electronic chair shit or whatever he's in. They could go there. Like, I understand Snyder, and you know what? A lot of people say, and you guys probably seen rumors out there, or whatever the case is, that Zack Snyder's universe should be sold to Netflix, right? I don't think so. Like, I see why. In other words, let him finish his storyline on Netflix. Let Netflix take over everything. So they take that movie, they direct 2 more. I think he had plans for a part 2 and a part 3, and let him finish out his storyline. I'm just thinking, you can't fucking do that.
You can't, because
Gunn's
WB,
not giving up the Dark Side storyline.
no,
it's not
and WB is not doing that.
No, hell no.
And he's not going to work with WB again. And Ray Fisher is not going to work with them. Like, I don't
Correct.
I don't
I
see
think they'd work
how...
with Netflix. I think they'd work with Netflix.
Yeah.
But they would
yeah.
But that's what WB
right,
still,
if they allowed, right.
Yeah. So I don't see happening, because I don't see them working with WB again.
Yeah.
It's just
also here's a not so fun fact. Did you know Ray Fisher, he was like very outspoken about sort of the treatment that he endured from Joss Whedon and a number of crew members. Did you know that when he came out with those reports, that's when WB announced the Black Superman movie?
Jesus Christ.
Just to pander.
So they didn't actually have motherfucker. Yeah. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You know what they did, Derrick? You know damn well they did this shit. Reports came out. I think he was with an NBC outlet is who he talked to for all the prejudice and racism and stuff that existed at WB. They pressed the black button.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Just you know what they did, or minority button, whatever you want to call it, right? So me as a Puerto Rican, if I was a Puerto Rican in there saying that they hate Hispanics, they pressed the Hispanic button too. You know what they said?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If they had a chance to make Blade, the motherfuckers would have did like 10 fucking backflips and did it. They don't give a shit about it. I'm happy it's coming. Don't get me wrong.
What they did was say, we're not racist. Look, I have a black friend. Like,
yes, in movie form.
In movie form. That is hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
In movie form.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think one of the things that is going to really kind of like hurt Gunn's version of DC is this foundation, because I don't think you can build on what was, right? Like, if you're trying to make your own structure, like, you need to just start from the foundation. You don't need to go build on someone else's foundation and try to make a different structure.
Well, like, it's confusing to me too, because
foundation, right?
So what I think, and I really don't want to think it, because I think you would hope WB is smart enough. Smart enough is probably not possible for them, but you would hope they're smart enough to say, this is Gunn, stay the fuck out the way, right? We will handle Elseworlds like Gunn's handle his shit, or Gunn handle his shit. And Derrick, I just have this inkling that WB is telling Gunn, let Shazam come, let the Flash come, let Aquaman come. If they're successful, fit my guys in. I want Levi in. I still want Ezra in. They want him in, because that movie is apparently amazing.
See, yeah, I heard that too. But the thing that confuses me about that is how
do you justify
Aquaman has, like, Batfleck's going to be an Aquaman.
Yeah, how do you justify bringing back Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Zachary Levi when you just cast aside Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill? Which said too.
Ben Affleck was hold on. So Ben Affleck, there's a rumor, and again, all of it's rumors at this point. Ben Affleck did say he's just getting past playing a character like that, right? It's physically taxing. I understand that. He's actually in line to direct The Brave and the Bold. So the relationship is good there.
Right.
So I'm not worried about that relationship. Cable's relationship is fucked up. They made him quit The Witcher, thinking he's going to be Superman again. And so granted, he gave it to someone that I think can handle it too. But that's fucked. I mean, The Witcher was successful.
Yeah. I just don't know how you justify bringing Ezra Miller back.
After all,
that's all I care about.
At this point, I don't see how you justify that. Like, I'm okay with recasting him, right? And then moving forward with, like, resetting the DC.
Yeah.
With that Flash. Like, you can't do a Flashpoint story to reset the DC just to semi-reset. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's again, it's a studio thing. They're gonna say, well, if you reset, you can still kind of like fit who we want in there. But Derek and Matt, the worst part about this is they have to do 2 flashpoints now.
Yeah.
So there's this flashpoint to whatever the fuck they're gonna do, reset or whatever they're calling it. And then when Darkseid went, because Darkseid wins, right? So not to spoil the comics for people, Darkseid wins. Yeah. He effectively wins in the end. I guess the end of the storyline is people are maimed, dead, or both. Right? That is he effectively did what he needed to do. Yeah. Even when they kill him, he still won. Almost Thanos-esque, right? In a way. Mm-hmm. And Flash has to reset again at the end of the Darkseid storyline. Yeah. So now you have 2. So what are you going to do after the second reset? Make a fucking 60-year-old Batman? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Why not?
Yeah, Batfleck like by then again.
Yeah. And here's the part that confuses me, because obviously we're speaking more so on the movies they have, like WB has to commit to releasing, because they want to make some money. To speak on Aquaman, so I could be wrong about this, so don't quote me, but I think they did test screenings for Aquaman 3 prior to the recent one, so I think they had like or whatnot. And they showed Michael Keaton as Batman, and because Batman or like Michael Keaton is supposed to show up in like this funeral scene or whatever, and the same question, every audience member asked the same question: why is Michael Keaton here? They were literally confused.
Right now it's Affleck though.
No, he's gonna get cut out.
I thought
so. The confusing part is that Michael Keaton was originally where Affleck was. And they said, oh, but Momoa said, hey, let's bring back Affleck. Okay, Affleck comes in, shoots his scene. But because they're doing the whole reset thing, they took out Affleck from the scene. So
why the fuck would Keaton make any sense?
Because he is in the Flash. You see the confusing part? Because like they're saying Flash is supposed to be a reset. So that's why.
Did any of you two wake up one morning and said, I can't wait till Ezra Miller, the cokehead, or whatever the fuck he is. He's everything head at this point. I can't wait till he resets this shit and brings back Batman. I do not want to see fucking Keaton on the screen. I don't care about Batman and Keaton. I don't care. Why do we need him? For the old fucking boomers? We don't need him.
He looks so goofy in the trailer too. He was like,
in general, bro. I thought he was decent as Spider-Man as Vulture, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Now this motherfucker's popping up in Morbius, whatever. Fuck all the BSs, whatever the fuck they are. Why? What are they doing to this? This man literally had an interview, and they were like, "Oh, how do you feel being a Batman again?" He goes, "Honestly, I have no idea what story I'm doing. I'm just showing up and acting." What the fuck? He doesn't even know what story he's doing. Why?
Wait.
He said that.
He said that.
Yes, he said he showed up and did the scenes. He had no idea what the fuck he was doing.
Happened for the Flash. Like he did so many research for the Flash that he was actually left confused. Like he didn't know what the story was.
At this point, I literally just wanted Gunn to say, "Hey, every character you know as the Snyderverse is going to finish out their solo movies. We are not proceeding with any more Justice League content. This is now going to be the Snyderverse that has their own content that'll be separate on HBO Max in the future, and I am starting from scratch." But fucking WB needs to step in and fuck that up. I'm cool with a scratch start, because at this point, even though I'm such a fan of Cable and I'm such a fan of Batfleck, everything, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League was amazing, in my opinion. Yeah. Long, but amazing. And it maybe needed some different plot points and whatnot. Sure. You can always argue that. But it's just too much in confusion, right? Like, we're not going to do Snyderverse, but we're still going to try to do our own thing. Just say it's its own thing. And like you've been saying, Derek, just start it from total scratch. Why do we need this mix of people and content and plot lines and actors and characters? Start from scratch. There are, I mean, they got a pool of MCU characters they can go, or I'm sorry, actors and actresses they can go off of. They've got tons of new and upcoming talent to go off of and bring in. Batista's already basically confirmed he's coming in as somebody, Dave Batista. So I think he's leaning more towards a non-physical actor. His body's taking a toll on everything too. But definitely, I don't know where they're going. It's so like, and I'm excited. So I'd be more excited for these projects, Shazam, The Flash, Aquaman, thinking, damn, this is going to be the close of the Snyderverse. That's dope. I'm now more confused and less excited.
And you know what? I actually, you spoke about it earlier, but Black Adam, right? Like that was supposed to be the beginning of like a turnaround.
We're raising the power of the DC.
And now, like they did all this promo for that with Dwayne Johnson, and now all of a sudden it's like,
man, you know how much that fucking promo cost, Derrick? That promo cost more than early MCU movies. Did the promo
I don't
alone?
Get it, man. I don't understand it because you have the opportunity to, like, actually, I thought The Rock did an amazing job as Black Adam. By the way, I actually thought Black Adam was a really good movie.
I thought it was.
Shazam was a really good movie, so I was looking forward to seeing that interaction. Anyway,
right.
But I don't know. I think we'll and I could be wrong about this, but I'm willing to bet that not only will the Snyderverse be considered better than this version, but Matt Reeves's universe is going to be considered better than this version of the DC, sure. Which both were great opportunities to build from that. You know, like starting off with Man of Steel, like that to me made a ton of sense to build the world out from there on.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Decided not to. Cool. Reset. Start off with reset with the the Reeves universe, and I mean that makes sense. But we've talked about this before. DC doesn't do what makes sense. DC does what they want to do, or they feel is right. They don't do even what fans feel is proper. You know, like I don't see what the purpose was of making Wonder Woman, which Gal Gadot did a phenomenal job as the character. The films were absolute garbage. Films were absolute
man. I talk so much about. I mean, I don't want to get into how angry I've been with the MCU lately. That's why we're not talking about them this week. But the lack of good writing is prevalent, right? And yes, I think that's the same for Wonder Woman. But considering how bad the writing was, I 100% agree. Gadot killed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she did a phenomenal job. I would have loved seeing the writers from the animated films be brought into the films, the live action films, to build those worlds out. Actually, you could have just continued with what the animation was doing. Like you can literally work those hand in hand. To me, like you can do the same actors, if you wanted to, or you go with different actors and just bring the new actors in as the voiceovers if you wanted to. Like there's various ways to do it, and I think they could have actually done it the right way. I just don't think that DC had a plan from the jump. It was just let's just throw Batman out there, let's just throw Superman out there and see what happens, see what sticks, and how we can grow from that. It's like a germ almost. Like
to be fair though, so I hear sense. I agree. I agree, but I kind of don't, right? So I'll give you both sides of that. So the MCU was absolutely the same way. So where I don't agree,
from the jump, yeah.
So where I don't agree with you in a way is it's okay to do that, right? I think you're saying.
No, it's not okay to do that. No, it's not okay.
What? Not okay to do what? I think we're confusing two different things. So not okay to do what?
To just throw something out there and see what happens.
100% okay. I think it's okay.
Okay, how
to do that? Well, so look at the MCU, right? So you need to build your base, right? And you can. My thing is like when you look back at Iron Man and you look back at none of those were intended to be a long story plot. We all know that, right? They needed Iron Man to be successful to say, okay, we're going to go further with this, right? Yes. They retroactively made Hulk part of that, just to make it easier.
That still
That was
doesn't make sense to me.
Dumb, whatever. So they made some bad decisions too. So my point is, sometimes you do have to throw shit at the wall, right, and just hope it sticks.
At certain points, I agree with that.
Right. That's more so where I'm leaning. Is
Just to start though, like Marvel made sense in terms of like, this is a character we've never seen on screen, right? We've never seen Iron Man live action.
Okay, so fair enough.
Let's see what he does. Right. You decided to do that with Batman and Superman.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay,
you don't
iconic character wise, right?
That's like throwing Captain America out there and just like, hey, we'll see, or throwing out I'm sorry, better one, Wolverine. If they decided to start the MCU with just like Wolverine and let's just pick some random person to play him, with a random storyline, and Sabretooth comes out and makes a pop, a surprise appearance in the film for no reason, like random stuff going on. If they had done that, that's DCU. Like, I
think that's one thing X-Men was, mind you, the movies kind of sucked and the writing was terrible.
Yes,
but the X-Men Origins, I would almost wish back then they continued those. Right, it's like seeing the X-Men Origins, like Wolverine's backstory. Although it was shitty, it was cool to see the backstory. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So cool. I mean,
it was cool.
But and then you deal with, I think to your point though, and kind of to counterpoint you, I'm so tired of seeing backstories of these characters, Derek. Like, I don't need to see the origin of Batman, but I do agree we need to see early stages of both, right? So where, for example, James Gunn is saying Superman Legacy is going to be a young Superman, just like we've been saying. Why not do the same for a young Batman? Why not do the same?
Pattinson's version was just like that, where he's
ready for it.
Not just starting, but I mean, he's been in the game like a year or two, and it's just like, okay, let me test this out. Let me test that out. Like he hadn't done the flight thing with the cape yet, right? Yeah. So he just wanted to do that, and that was his first trial in the movie or whatever. He's still trying to see where, test his limits and stuff and certain things. That is okay. I agree. I don't want to see origin stories anymore. Not from known, from known characters that we've already seen multiple times in multiple versions.
And that's the thing too, because like the distinction that I'm making between like the Superman Legacy and Robert Pattinson's Batman movie. So what allows Robert Pattinson's version to have his character be picked up 2 years into his journey makes sense, because most of society views him as a myth. He operates very literally from the shadows, and more often than not, it really took until 2 years before he started, really interacting. I think he was interacting with Captain Gordon a little bit, but other than that, it's sort of he retains, I don't know. I guess like it's isolation. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to work on his own. The problem with Superman is that you have to tell his origin story. James Gunn keeps saying it's not going to be an origin story. We're going to pick up like 2 or 3 years where he's already met the characters. That doesn't work. The reason why it doesn't work is because Superman is the most powerful character. Well, one of the most powerful characters of all of comics, and you need to see how society responds to such a figure,
a threatening figure, a threatening
figure. Right. Now you can still do that, but at the same time, it won't be as effective because one, I can 100% guarantee you they will not have any scenes dedicated to people reacting to it. It would just be a bunch of like news clips, like people like getting interviewed or whatever. That will be about it. You understand what I mean? Like it'll be like what generic. Oh, did you see Superman fly by and crash right into that building, and then all those innocent civilians died? He's a terrible figure. Oh, Superman's a really good guy. He's actually helping people out. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna go that whole like direction, and then they're not really gonna flesh it out completely. And James Gunn, I'm firmly convinced is not a good enough writer to make a good Superman movie. But that's that's a conversation.
If I hear one fucking MCU type joke in that goddamn DCU, I will walk out the theater. If Superman makes, they're gonna do it, so I'm walking out the theater. All right, fine, whatever.
I don't have.
I didn't see that coming.
Like I just can't.
Yeah,
I don't have any faith in DC, to be honest. I think it's a great idea to do the Brave and the Bold storyline. I think it's a great idea, like you said, Jonathan, if you're starting off with Batfleck.
Right.
But aside from that, we haven't seen a real portrayal of Robin, right? I mean, Chris O'Donnell's version is just whatever.
Right.
I want to see the original Robin, his storyline, him teaming up with Batman, him testing limits, growing up, maybe fast track it to him being Nightwing. Then let's see Red Hood. Let's see Batgirl. Right. Let's see Supergirl. Like
Integral part 2, Derrick. Like, we're talking about the Titans, who are also just as big in the Dark Side storyline than anyone.
Yeah,
Nightwing leads them,
and that's the thing too, because they're trying. That's what they're trying to set up with the whole Bat family. They're trying to jumpstart a Teen Titan story, which again does not work. You cannot, like, we've never had a proper live action Nightwing. Brother, I love you, but Titans is fucking ass. That's I'm not even gonna.
Oh, I just enjoyed it. That's fine. No,
respect.
I'll never go to battle about it. Trust me.
But like that's not a good portrayal. They brought in Jason Todd, fucking ass. They brought in Tim Drake. He's also fucking ass. No, I'm gonna backtrack. I really like the actor. It's just I hate the way they're using him, because this dude hasn't showed up in the suit in the 2 seasons that he was in it, and he literally just stands there and does nothing. Like, Tim Drake is very literally.
He's been in there for 2 seasons and hasn't actually been in the Robin suit.
This is him in scenes. Hey, how do you think we should find him? I mean, what do you think we should do? That's all he does.
They use him like a backboard.
Yes,
like,
and he's literally the most. And he's number one. He's objectively the most intelligent Robin. Batman literally gave him like an impossible puzzle to solve, and he solved it in 2 hours. Like, he's brilliant. He's one of the most brilliant characters.
Well, the amazing part about that too, Matthew, is they like when it comes to the development of Batman and Robin. Like, Batman's biggest fear is giving that trust in Robin to be able to handle things on his own. And when he finally does trust him, he sends him off to Joker, and Joker kills him, right? Like, he's like, you can handle it. I don't know what he's doing instead, but that's the purpose of that development. We're not going to see any of that shit.
Yeah, it's just it's odd to start off that way. Like, maybe you don't want to go the whole Dick Grayson route. Like, I'll put it this way: like, Dick Grayson, I think, like, we know enough about his origin, so maybe. I think you can get away with introducing Nightwing as a character, and then maybe if you want to, I think you can get away with that. When it comes to Jason Todd, you can't just bring in Red Hood automatically. I feel like it's especially important for them to really explore his past traumas in depth. Tim Drake is definitely a character who not only have we never seen a live action version of, like, in terms of being in the suit, you have to show his development. I just vehemently disagree with the decision to jump all the way to the 4th Robin, and then expect audiences who, while they know the characters, I think most of us can sit around and literally say we know just about every Robin, right? It's just weird. It doesn't feel earned, and if this feels very, like, rushed in a weird way. Like, this feels like a part 4 in a 5-part story. It's weird.
It's almost like they're trying to build a super team, and you're trying to build a super team where you're like top heavy and have nobody on the bench. Like, if there's no depth, it's kind of hard to feel like you can go deep into the playoffs or win a championship if you have no depth. You can have the big names, right?
Sorry.
No.
You can
don't even
have you can have those names, but if you don't have any depth on the bench, it's hard to feel like you can actually go far, with that team. And I don't see how you're able to go far with this story or this universe if you're not setting that, if you don't have a bench, if you don't have a good lineup, if you don't have good depth, and start off like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And they're calling.
How do you expect to do anything?
Yeah, and they're calling this whole phase Gods and Monsters. So, oh, actually, I know John because I know
Yes.
obviously you have all the lists written down, but
Right.
obviously I'm sort of like a lot of things that you've that I know for a fact I haven't heard of. So I'm going to assume you probably haven't heard of some of the new projects they announced and stuff. But like, what are your thoughts on like Creature Commandos? I think they have this like the boys like movie coming out too or something like that. It's a long
I mean,
list,
they,
you know,
they
but
it's a. I mean, we could just go over quickly. I mean, they got the Authority, which, from my understanding, is similar to the Eternals. Hope it's not like it.
Yeah.
The Brave and the Bold Batman that we don't know which Batman it is. Maybe, possibly what Robin it is. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I am excited for Supergirl. I think she's an integral part as well, so that'll be dope.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing, also a huge part of any of the major storylines. Gods and Monsters, they're obviously going to get more into the mystical. We're going to get John Constantine on live screen, which is dope too. Hopefully. TV shows, we got Creature Commandos with what Matt you said. Amanda Waller's a star in that as well, but then she's also getting her own show.
yeah,
Waller,
I'm happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for Viola Davis.
I agree completely.
Me too.
Again, why?
Because that's a great question, and as
why?
simple as this,
like, what's the connection? If you're trying to make a clean break from the Snyderverse, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
to continue the DCU with the Snyderverse characters, let that be Elseworld.
Because he's picking and choosing what he can, what he's gonna do, and because it's his properties, right? He preemptively has some authority.
So he's continuing the Snyderverse. Like, he's okay with continuing Suicide Squad and partly continuing it, and then still having Waller part of the universe. And then we're not going to get rid of, which I love Peacemaker, so I'm happy it's not going away, but Peacemaker's still coming too. So his stuff is untouched, but the stuff the fans want don't mean shit, right? Which we do want Peacemaker, don't get me wrong, but like, I didn't really need a Waller. Like, Waller could be everywhere. Wally could be Nick Fury, right? I don't need a Waller series specific. Like, give me a Suicide Squad series with Waller being the main character, and then showing the other characters, right? Like,
Suicide Squad done the right way,
and that could be interesting too. I think Amanda Waller makes for a great character. It's just like I said, it you say you're starting from scratch. And Peacemaker was part of the original DCEU, and you're bringing it back. Like, that's like that's hypocritical. Now it kind of works because it doesn't.
Easiest way to say it.
It actually doesn't, because they still reference Superman. They still reference Batman. They brought back Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller.
That's why I'm confused.
And even though they like shadowed, like, what was it, Superman and Wonder Woman or whatever, because Gal Gadot might not return and stuff. What if Jason Momoa doesn't return?
I don't see the purpose of bringing. I don't see the purpose of bringing him back as Aquaman if you're going to cast him as Lobo. If that actually happens, I don't see the purpose of casting him for Lobo and Aquaman. Like, what happens if there's a hypothetical showdown?
Yeah, well, he had a meeting with Gunn like around a month ago, so I think that was like early February or something, and he put a trident like on his Instagram story. So I'm assuming the convo went well to where, hey, listen, I'm pretty sure the conversation went like this: I'm not gonna commit to giving you another solo project at this moment. But what I will say is, we want you back if you want to come back, and we'll find a way to make you squeeze in. Because I think they're gonna do away.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because 100%. Because I think they're gonna start doing. They're gonna do the Marvel route with contracts, and I think they're just gonna they're just gonna sign per movie, and they'll just offer it to them. That way, they don't have like a Ben Affleck situation or like a Henry Cavill situation where they have to Well, I
obligated
feel
to the
like there are a lot of like
cause, right?
there are a lot of like legal loopholes you can get around. Like, if this movie doesn't make X amount of money, you cannot you know come back or something like that. There's a
Right.
lot of like
But
technicalities and stuff, but
that's the problem, though. Like with the bigger name characters, they need to be signed long term. If you're going
I agree.
long term,
If you're committed to the
if
cause, for sure.
if you're committed, you got to go all the way. That's like getting married and saying, you know what, at the altar,
They want 10-day
saying like,
contract.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll give this a couple of weeks. Let's just see what happens.
I'm gonna sign a 2-way real quick.
yeah. We'll be married for a couple of weeks, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. And that's just it. That's just it. You can't do that.
It's just so confusing, man. I mean, Booster Gold, a futuristic character that comes to the present. I get that.
I'm excited for actually.
I am excited for that.
I actually am, but
Lanterns I'm excited for as well, because we're
I'm
getting
excited
Hal
for.
Jordan and Jon Stewart at the same time, detective-based series.
yes,
That's going to be dope. They got to
time.
make that. I know it sounds crazy, boys, because it's the Lanterns, but it's got to be a little more grounded. I don't think it needs to be as spacey, right? Like you're going detective, go true detective. That's literally what it's based on. But they are going to effectively find, I think, the overarching plot in their series. Like what they're investigating is going to say, okay, this is our threat. This is what we're building this DCU for to start, right?
Which I'm fine with. I actually like that idea. I just don't like it in this universe. I don't like it. I don't like it.
The problem is we also don't know what universe it is.
Right.
That's the frustrating part,
Right. So I don't know. But okay, let me ask you this though. Is there anything about the announcement that gets you excited? Like you actually look forward to what can happen with that particular project?
Honestly, it's tough for me to say I'm totally amped without watching The Flash and seeing what they do with the reset. Because I'm hoping it's as good for Gunn to say it's good. Maybe he's just saying it because WB said to say it, probably. But if it's as good as he says, is it a true reset? And what does that lead to this? If it's a good lead to the new phase, I think I'm most excited for Lanterns, man. Like we haven't had since Ryan Reynolds, who still makes fun of it to this day.
I didn't even watch that.
I agree. And Green Lantern is actually a phenomenal character too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and
very interesting. I want to see I wanted the Lantern Corp to be shown, right? Like I want to finally see all of it. Like we saw it in that Ryan Reynolds film, but I want to see it in its full capability, because that's what they are. They're protectors. They're essentially
space peacekeepers.
Like space officers, right? Like they're sent to protect certain planets. And honestly, I kind of look at it as like the Eternals. Like they're groups of aliens that are sent out to develop, protect, and secure a planet, right? And granted, the Eternal storyline went in a different way, but that's kind of what I see them. So I think I'm most excited for that, and I hope it's grounded to start and then get to that big, CGI and all that. I want to see them do the thing.
Yeah, they're what Trump wanted Space Force to be.
Well, yeah, honestly, you know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And he probably watched the Ryan Reynolds fucking movie and said, I want that. That's his number one movie of all time.
Lanterns is something that I would be excited about too. I think there's so many possibilities with that film, but again, it's hard to be excited. Like I would assume that Flashpoint is going to kill off everybody except Ezra Miller's character, Jason Momoa's character. Who else is signed? We don't know. Oh, Zach Levy. I would assume that the characters that are coming from the Snyderverse, from the Yeah, from the Snyderverse are coming over that aren't killed in Flashpoint.
Right.
That's I but even with that, it's just kind of like, why? Like,
I don't get it. I don't. What are you most excited for though? Out of all
I'm excited to see Robin, but I want to see that story done right.
Right. I feel like the first scene in Brave and the Bold is going to be Nightwing popping up, say, "What's up?" I'll be so mad. Like that's just a slap in the face, bro. We need honestly in the Titans show, whatever on HBO Max, like that Robin is technically gonna be the Nightwing of the universe, right? I don't know if does he end up turning into Nightwing. I'm not that far along. Does he end up being Nightwing in the series or no?
Oh, you're talking about sorry, I freaking
you didn't watch it
for Titans, right?
Yeah. Does he end up being Nightwing in the series or no?
Yeah, yeah. In by
a certain season, he does. Either way, he fucking hates Batman. Like I want to see that relationship season, as to why he hates Batman. Right? I think that's what you're saying. I want to see the full developed Robin to Nightwing.
Are those characters coming over? Is that possible?
The Titans thing?
No, that's
yeah.
That show that series ended with
canceled.
the fort. Was it gonna and then same with Doom Patrol. Was the other show that John referenced with Brendan Fraser, but so that's relieving in terms of Doom Patrol is actually phenomenal, but it's relieving at DC fans. Sort of like, okay, thank God, like this one less thing we like have to catch up on.
Worry about that shit, right?
But
yeah, because I don't want to watch all that for that.
Yeah, I don't even go.
I'm just doing it randomly. Video. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was yours, Derrick? I'm sorry.
Robin.
It's just Robin. Just seeing Robin.
Yeah, I want to see Robin, but I want to see him done right because I've been wanting to see. Actually, I was hoping that they were going to continue Batfleck because it made sense. Like, say for example, they decided to do a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense to show Robin, with Batfleck and how he got killed. Like, I wanted to see that. I was hoping they were going to go down that road.
Right.
It just would have added more depth to that story. Like, and I thought, and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she was phenomenal. She was phenomenal.
I agree.
The Suicide Squad was trash, but like her character, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, we get so many references to the boy. Again, back to the Snyderverse, or the Zack Snyder's Justice League. The post-credit scenes are Joker saying, "I killed the boy Wonder," and Batman saying, when I had Harley Quinn's bleeding in my arms, dying, she told me, if the only thing I do when I kill you is to kill you slow." Like, why the fuck is she so angry? I want to see that. So I mean, we kind of got reasons in Birds of Prey, which was awful, but
I was sleeping in the theater on that one, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Birds of Prey could be dope though. Like if they did it right, it could be dope. It could be dope.
Could be.
But
yeah.
Matthew, what do you got for your most excited for project? Not including the semi-Snyder, half a Snyderverse movies.
Yeah, I probably say the Authority. The Authority series or movie? It's a movie, right?
It is a movie. Yep.
Yeah, it's basically the boys of DC.
Just a bunch of crazy ass fucking superheroes.
Yeah, I think my understanding is that they like operate outside like the government's jurisdiction.
Thunderbolts-esque.
Yeah. Like, and their characters have really fantastic designs too.
Nice.
I'm just trying. Yeah,
but one thing I will say real quick, if you want to look that up real quick, Matt, but I love James Gunn, right? I think he did great with Peacemaker, which is, I don't know if you got to watch it, Derrick, but I think Peacemaker is one of the best series I've watched in a very long time.
About it.
I was scared to watch it, bro. After Suicide Squad, especially.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh no, they brought this man back to life somehow. Some stupid shit. Like, it was fucking dope. It was dope.
Amazing.
And Guardians of the Galaxy, he has shown a propensity to. Guardians of the Galaxy, they were nothing. Like the comic lines sucked. They failed. They threw them in the garbage. Marvel wanted fucking nothing to do with them. And he turned them into icons on screen. Right. He's done some amazing work. Do I trust him to build? I don't need as dark as the Snyderverse, but DC is darker by nature, right?
It is.
I need that Gunn. Like I get Peacemaker, that is what it's supposed to be. I get the Authority, maybe it is dark and crazy and shit, but it's still gonna have a lot of the humor, and that's fine. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it fits the character, great. If it doesn't, go dark, right?
Yeah,
like
you're supposed to.
I need it with DC. I don't know if I can trust them with that.
Because the Authority, because it's funny you mentioned that too, because like I am curious if it will be R-rated or if they'll be close to that, because just looking at it now, this is an article, and like basically they're like the anti-Justice League, so they have like no limitations on what they do to other people. Like they kill, and they really don't care about public perception. So and the roster actually has a character who's basically like the opposite of Batman. He's basically a Batman who kills, called Midnighter.
So one thing that has me a little confident with all of this is I guess two things technically. One, all the animated movie series, those are like as rated R as you're gonna get. They cuss. There's a bunch of other shit in there that kids don't really like. You know what I mean? Two, Gunn kind of has the luxury of saying, I don't really need younger people to care about this, right? Like we haven't had good, consistent DC content for so long. Us 30 plus year olds are the ones you have to entertain, because nobody else really knows who the fuck DC is because of Marvel. So they don't need to target market 8, 9, 10 year olds, right? Marvel, I feel like they have to now, because for whatever reason. But
Disney,
he can go. Well, that's why. Well, mainly for sure, they can go rated R, Matt, with a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They can. It's just, are they?
Yeah.
Right.
He alluded to that being the case, where they sort of have a mixture of, I forgot what he said specifically, but like he largely implied that it would be like a nice mixture.
Which is
I
don't understand.
One I forgot too. Freaking Blue Beetle's coming too this year, which I'm excited for.
Right. I'm glad. I'm really happy that didn't get axed.
It's supposed to be really good. I mean, the who is it? Jamie Reyes is the character. I can't remember the actor's name. He's the main character for
Cobra Kai.
Yeah. So
I never watched that.
What?
I never watched Cobra Kai.
Oh, bro, come on! You never watched Karate Kid?
Oh yeah, no, I watched Karate Kid. I just,
bro, if you don't turn on motherfucking Netflix, what the fuck? You better turn, bro. I don't care what anybody says.
Netflix.
Cobra Kai. No. Listen, Cobra Kai has some of the best fighting scenes I've ever seen on screen. Period.
Okay.
Some, not all.
Okay.
Not all. Fuck, some of them are awful.
No,
the school scene was nuts. The fight in the school.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, Derrick. When you, I want to try help with Derrick like that, because he's dead into like Daredevil. Like he's gonna know.
I mean, obviously they ain't cutting fucking slitting throats and shit like Daredevil.
No. But the fight choreography,
it's not up there. Daredevil, no, hell no. Daredevil's the best. I think Daredevil is the best I've ever seen, hands down.
Have you ever seen C?
Who?
C
on Apple TV,
starring Jason Momoa on Apple TV.
Just SEA
or
SEE?
Yes.
No, I'm writing it down. I don't have Apple TV. That's the one service I don't have.
Wait, I'll give him my account, bro. I got you. Well,
hell yeah, send that shit,
bro.
Not at this moment, but
everybody log in.
the fight choreography in that and Daredevil, those are the two. Ironically, they're blind.
Is that good?
Bro, the best fight choreography I have ever seen.
Matt?
ever.
I'm actually good. So I just finished watching anime. Yeah, anime brother.
Trash.
And then I'm actually gonna get into see probably either tonight or tomorrow.
Oh,
okay.
Season
So,
2.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Now you hyped me up. So now, if I don't like it, you're coming back on here. We got to talk about it.
Oh, please. Yeah, I'll defend it too.
Okay. Fair enough. I have to hop
Yeah.
on realist for that. How about that?
Yeah, most definitely.
So, okay. Here's the thing I need from both of y'all. But separately, you don't have to do it right now. Send me a list of everything I should watch on Apple TV since I'm about to get into it, apparently. So,
Yes.
I don't know what you guys have or haven't watched. Doesn't matter. Let me know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess a quick sum of it all on a scale of 1 to 5. What is your excitement for the future DC?
I'm not excited. I'm not excited because I and we've talked about this on Realish multiple times. I don't trust DC.
Yeah.
So my ability to get excited, like I was excited for Batfleck. I was excited for Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was excited for the potential that was there. I actually was excited about Jared Leto's Joker. Like I was excited for those characters and their development.
Right.
When they got to the point where they were already hinting that this was not coming back, I was too through. It was like jumping back into an abusive relationship, knowing you're gonna get hurt, and hoping that there's gonna be change, and then you get abused again. Shit. You know, it's like it's the same pattern, and so like I and I don't mean to belittle abusive relationships, just to put that out there, but that's just the closest draw that I can come to.
Right.
But it's just one of those things where I can't trust DC to do anything that's going to make me feel great and feel secure. Right. I don't. I'm even looking at Marvel sideways at some points. Totality, like I trust them. It's like one of those things like if your significant other gets a text message and you thought you saw the name of an ex or something like that on there, right? It's like wait, what did I just see what I thought I saw? Like type of thing. But it's like that's just how I feel at Marvel. With DC, I'm getting cheated on wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
It's not even a doubt.
What scares me there, both of you, is so man. I'll give my quick rating on excitement. I'm like a 1.5 because I don't know. Right, it's more of an unknown. I guess UNK like unknown is my score. You know, the scariest part about it is, you know, we talked about it on our episode last week, Derek. You know, state of the MCU, right?
Right.
Where I'm giving them more leeway because they did essentially have to restart in some kind of way, right? Mm-hmm. And they're using the multiverse to really build these different characters and build these different storylines. And it doesn't make sense now. Maybe it makes sense all in the future, but they're running out of time, right? I mean, the Kang Dynasty is 2 years away. Like there's only so much time you have, and certain projects that you have obviously to put on screen to make it make sense for all of it. So, you know, I'm nervous for both DC and Marvel. They're supposed to bring each other up. They're separately bringing each other down by themselves, right? And you know, Kevin Feige said himself. So let me say, my excitement is unknown. My hope is high. Like I hope they do well. I don't expect it to. I don't all that, right? But I hope they do, because even Kevin Feige said himself, a great DC along with a great Marvel, which he has to fix the Marvel part himself, right? Means we're always happy.
Yes.
We get January DC movie, February Marvel movie, the March DC show, April Marvel show, Star Wars in between that, right? Because Star Wars is always kind of delayed and they take their time with all their shit for whatever reason, but whatever. There's an opportunity for us to always have great content out there. Feige knows it rises the level of competition. If DC is able to build what they can and should, Marvel won't fuck up anymore, and vice versa, right?
Right. Yeah, because you're as great as your opponent.
Right. Absolutely. It's like iron sharpens iron. We talk about that all the time with the company, right? And us building and these podcasts. Like if Realist wasn't great, this shit would suck, and vice versa.
Yeah.
We all have to rise up, right?
Yeah.
Concept of life. It works in jobs, it works in life, it works everywhere. And I'm nervous it's gonna go the opposite way with this, right? We're gonna get a bad Marvel and a bad DC, and we're just I'm done. I'm not gonna contribute.
Well, I mean, Marvel's been resting on its laurels for a couple years, and I think intended, and that doesn't make any sense. It's like almost like player load management type of thing, where it's kind of like you're seeing they're coasting a little bit, and that I don't like. But I will say I think Feige recognized it, because to say and admit that, you know what, we need to cut down on all those shows.
Well, we want depth. Like, I understand comic book characters are actiony, fun, yada yada yada. I would like Matthew and I have talked about this. I would like a very in-depth 6-episode show where I see some serious character development for someone. Right. Like I can't even think of a character top of my head. Let's just throw, if you start to do the X-Men Origins, right? Something similar, and come out with 6 episodes or 3-episode series or whatever, a special that focuses on each main X-Men character and how they became a mutant and develop them. And all of them have crazy backgrounds. Magneto with the Nazis, Charles Xavier and his loss of being able to walk, right? Mystique had a deep background as well. Wolverine's background goes 100 years, I think, or something like that, right? Or more. And like, show us that. Like, I want to know these characters have been through the fucking ringer, and this is how they became the hero that they are, and they are the way they are because of that background.
Then you ran.
I want to see risks. I want to see Matt, what is it? Not you don't call it plot armor. It's basically when I can't think of the word that we talked about the other day for Quantumania, but I want to see stakes. Yes, thank you, Matthew. There should be stakes, and not only stakes for like the overarching plot. Like, obviously the villain's the stake, right? He's going to destroy the planet, or he's going to kill everyone in the multiverse. That's a stake. I get it. I want to see the stake of a personal developed character.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I want depth. We can do this. We can make a C series. Daredevil was great at it. Like, that is a fully developed, episode by episode, amazing goddamn series that I hope they continue with the new season, whatever they call it. They probably won't, right? And again, with everything I said, boys, did I ever say I want gore, I want rated R? I don't give a fuck. If you can give me a great plot and you can develop my characters I've grown to love since I was a fucking toddler,
right?
I'm happy.
Look what they did with Punisher.
Right. Exactly. And I that's all we want. Matt, would you agree? I mean, I don't care about any of the extracurriculars, right? The CGI, we'll get it. You're billionaires. You're a successful studio. I know it's going to be there. Give me the plot. Give me the development. I want these characters to show me they have more than just, I became a hero. I saved the day. Thank me that I saved the day, move on to the next movie, and then eventually the Avengers movie. I don't care about that anymore.
Right.
Give me depth. Right. Give me it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's even reminding me of like the situation with not to deviate, but not to deviate, but I'm gonna deviate. But basically, like, it sort of reminds me of the situation going on with Star Wars, where I think, me and John have talked about it quite a bit. I think, Derek, I even touched on it a bit with you on Realist, where it's like, Star Wars keeps confining itself within the Skywalker saga, right?
Right.
And it's when you have a galaxy far, far away, and literally every single show and movie is on Tatooine, like, it's a storytelling is meant to be like the reason I mentioned it, like, storytelling is meant to be, yeah, exactly. Like, storytelling in general is meant to be creative, not saying Star Wars isn't creative, but it's meant to be creative. It's meant to be experimental, right? And I think you should never limit the options you have. And I think, while John obviously said that, there isn't like this urge to have R-rated content, maybe enter that territory, venture into that territory a bit and see how audiences react. Sort of see how characters can operate within a PG-13 and R-rated environment. Should that be the case? I think
both.
Flipping
between both.
I'd be fine with that.
And the reason I mentioned, like, for Star Wars is that Skyward Saga is great. Bring in the High Republic, bring in the Old Republic, bring in even series set after the sequel trilogy as well, so to speak. Even now, I'm very reluctant on because again, it's connected to Skyward Saga. Don't limit your seemingly unlimited options. You know what I mean? Like, you can theoretically have shows and movie on just about anything, but it's always a matter of quality over quantity and making sure that while you obviously are a business and you want to make money, you need to make sure you're delivering quality content, because at some point audiences are going to get tired of seeing dog shit. And a lot of
the same shit.
Dog shit or the same shit. It's gonna happen. I know for a fact it's gonna happen with Marvel. So I think my excitement, to tie back into your question, is probably at like a 2, because again, I've like the whole Batman irritates me, the whole new Superman irritates me. Some of these projects just aren't interesting to me outside of Booster Gold and the Authority. I also don't like how James Gunn again is picking and choosing who he's gonna have all of his Peacemaker co-stars and Suicide co-stars come back and dilly daddy, you get your own TV series. That's wrong. That's just wrong. Obviously, I'm assuming that Suicide Squad is going to play a major role. But here's a bright spot of it all. There's interconnectedness, right? There's an attempt to connect video games, animated series, and live action movies and TV shows.
Positive, man.
To have
Holy
more,
shit.
Yeah, I know. To have more of like nice little concise
bright spot.
Ass. Yeah, I know, but but to have like a more like organized universe. I think the Elseworlds thing, like, it's going to be confusing at first, because again, it sort of is. You're naturally going to ask the question, why couldn't you bring X, Y, and Z into the DCU? Why couldn't you incorporate it? Or like Derrick was saying, right? Like, why can't you build upon
just
that?
Make it happen regardless.
Expand upon that foundation.
Right. Well, I think they'll fix it. It sounds so sorry to interrupt you real quick.
No,
but, I simply putting a watermark behind the DC logo saying Elseworlds. That probably solves everything. It'll solve.
Exactly. It's going to be properly labeled. I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Derrick, it's the whole adage of when you make fun of me about my New York Knicks, right?
That's exactly what this is.
You tell me to lower my expectations to the bottom, and I do, right? And you've been an amazing friend and brother to me to make sure I do that, and I understand that. But look at us now. We're so good. We're so good that I'm surprised. So let's just go into DC. Let's go to DC with low expectations. Yeah. Maybe we walk out surprised.
Oh,
it'd be nice.
And the other thing too is, I think the funny part is, like, obviously we have our like negatives, but watch like DC actually be like phenomenal. Like, they come up with like
I know,
like banger after banger after banger.
They might kill.
We're gonna look back on this podcast episode and be like, damn, we're talking a lot of shit right now.
Oh, we're gonna be on
but it's justified. It's justified.
This is based off track record, right? So that's why, like, sometimes when I hate the old takes exposed on Twitter, when they'll find stuff and be like, I don't know, for example, Josh Allen was trashed in 2018. He had a horrible game. He's terrible. That wasn't really a lie at the time, right? Like, he had a horrible game. He was terrible at the time, and I didn't say he wasn't going to be good. Like, you have a track record of showing your shit, except for a couple of projects. Mm-hmm. Prove me wrong, and I won't say it again. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, that's like me going back the past 10 years, Derrick, and saying well, the Knicks weren't really that bad if I think about it now because they're good now. No, they were that bad.
They were that bad.
I was fucking miserable for a reason, right? Like let's be completely honest. So, again, I think all of us are optimistic that it is successful. Not very optimistic it will be successful, right? But I think we're excited for it all, man. But I hope they do it right.
Yeah,
I hope they do it right.
You know what I'm thinking, brother? And I just thought about this because of the Star Wars deviation. Have any of you two watched Andor?
Yes.
No.
Oh, bro,
change of pace.
Andor might actually be like I would say the best Star Wars property thing ever made.
Empire Strikes Back is the only thing that's close.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only thing that's close.
That just from a
I think Empire is better, but as far as being close,
like it in terms of it feels like professional television. Like there's obviously Star Wars elements, obviously like the inclusion of stormtroopers, ships, etc. But the writing is some of the most professional, mature, and
in depth,
and insightful I've probably ever heard.
But see, that's my problem with a lot of these properties is that they don't take the writers from the most successful parts of their franchise and just put them over the whole thing.
And they may just not want to. Could be writers.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Like, I think The Mandalorian could be significantly better.
Oh, me too.
It's good, but it's
good.
It's lacking that insightfulness and in-depthness.
Book of Boba was, oh my god, was so
you mean
bad.
The Book of the Mandalorian? You mean,
dude?
I don't.
Exactly.
It was Mandalorian 2.5. They knew we weren't getting another season for almost 2 years, so they had to put something in between. That's what it did.
It was so dumb too because like the whole like Grogu reunion felt so forced, and Jon Favreau retconned the whole the timeline. He said that Grogu and Luke spent 2 years together, which means that Boba spent 5 years with the Tuskens.
Okay, so I just watched the first episode of season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and I was trying to figure out how he got Grogu back. So it took place in the Book of Boba.
That honestly pisses me off.
You saying that actually just proved at this point how bad they are.
Okay. I did not know that.
Right. So you saying it did, like, you know what I mean? Like you're not pissing me off.
No,
the
proving of the fact, right?
You didn't know that, and Jon Favreau expects somebody like you to go out on YouTube to contextualize yourself.
Well, see, not even just that.
Fucking stupid. It's
stupid. There was a flash. I mean, a recap at the beginning where they were showing Mando like talking to I don't know who it was, but basically saying that he took off his mask or his helmet and all that stuff, being being exiled basically. Yeah. I was trying to figure out where that came from. That came from Boba Fett as well?
No. He took off his mask in front of Grogu in season 2.
No, in season 2. But there's like a whole conversation that takes place.
There's a whole conversation with the armor that takes place in the Book of Boba Fett, where, by the way, in episode 5,
okay. Thank you.
In episode 5, Boba Fett does not show up once. The entire episode revolves around the Mandalorian. And the same thing happens for episode 6 because he goes to where Luke I'll tell you, like, he goes to where Luke is or whatever.
So all this
Boba Fett doesn't show up until the end of episode 6. So he doesn't appear for 2 full episodes.
Gotcha.
In the show.
The Book of Mandalorian
is it's awful. And the whole reunion felt so forced. And the reason I mentioned the whole timeline situation is because there was no specific indication that Grogu and Luke spent 2 years together. Jon Favreau just literally pulled it out of his ass.
Yeah,
and it's a cheap excuse to explain why they
appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, look, but going back to even the Andor. I agree. You know, we got to start getting more writers out there that are really building characters. And I mean, Derek, if you watch that, and I've had a lot of people tell me when they do watch it, they say that didn't feel like a Star Wars series. That is so fucking good to hear. Why
I didn't watch it.
But that's the best part about it, bro.
That's the reason why I didn't watch it, because that's the feeling I was trying to avoid.
To not feel like Star Wars?
Yeah, I didn't.
You're trying to avoid it.
That. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to watch it,
because I wanted to feel like you were still on Star Wars.
It didn't. I didn't want that cheesy feeling. I didn't want that cheesy feeling because
Oh no.
That's why I avoided it, because that's what I was expecting. So I started the first episode of Book of Boba Fett, and I never finished it because I was
you will walk into and finish Andor saying, if I didn't know Andor was in Rogue One?
Yeah, you're right.
If you didn't, I seriously feel like you could walk out of that show, Derek, and say that is not a Star Wars canon show.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna start it.
I'm gonna start it, and let's
do a review on it together.
That's the best thing. Yeah,
hey, I'm with
it. We could do it if you wanna. I mean, you could do realist, or we could do here. I'm down to do here for sure. Watch it, and when you're ready to review it, we'll do it. I'll rewatch it.
I'm with that.
It's that good.
Me too. It's so good. So good. I saw
that good. So
yeah.
Hey, we have another episode planned. People, look at this, baby. Look at this, baby. But I think I got to play my little violin. You can't really hear. I think the time has come, my fellas. Listen, I am beyond excited to be back here on this here We Can Be Heroes podcast as the co-host of my little brother, and we're back on it full swing. We're going to be doing this thing weekly. Derek is welcome anytime. We're going to try to get some more guests in here. Matthew and I, older brother Angel, is a big fan of all this stuff as well. We'll get him through here and talking all this stuff. But Matthew, tell them where they can find you, brother.
Yes, sir. It'll be Matt_T29 over on Instagram. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you, Derek, for joining us. I obviously I love you being on this podcast here. I also love doing Realist with you as well. So it's always a great time. And brother, thank you for another great episode. Loving the energy you always bring, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the groove of things again. So
rises the energy, he rises how good we look. This guy just needs to be here all the time. I don't know. Derek, El Padrino, tell him to offer they can't refuse. Where do he find you?
Well, you can find me at OTS Media Co. OTS Media Co. I mean, my personal is at Derrick_OTS DERRICK, the black way to spell it. But my preference is OTS Media Co. Follow the brand on all social media platforms. OTS Media on YouTube. You find not only this great show, which I'm glad you guys are back again, by the way, if I didn't make that clear. But yeah, this show and other shows under the network, you can find those on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcast. So thank you guys for having me back. I always love spending time with you guys.
You're making me blush.
Yeah, I like this, and I'm planning on coming up there. Ryan, I've talked about it.
You're welcome this
summer,
brother.
This summer is like
you stay here right in the crib with me.
I'll let you
always welcome.
Yes, sir.
Always welcome. Trust me, the wife is as clean as you are. For those who don't know, Derek is like a super OCD clean person. My wife is just as much, if not more. So you'll be perfectly clean. I have Lysol sitting on the bed for you, ready to go. Listen, you guys, forever blesses us with these views and listens. I don't really care about my personal rights. Get over to the OTS Media Co. Follow, subscribe. Take care of business. Get to watching this thing. Share this thing on Facebook. We appreciate every single viewer that pops in here and gives us all the time. Gives OTS Media the time. Derek puts a lot of effort into this, and we just try to help him out. So, just that jersey behind him needs to come down. The Eagles helmet needs to come down. We do play the Eagles, and Derek, I'm expecting you to meet me in Philadelphia. Bills at Eagles. We're going. So
I was actually telling Angel about it because he talked to me about that. And I didn't realize that.
I'm scared. Genuinely, I'm scared shitless.
I want to come so bad. I'm hoping I can.
Yeah.
But the time of the year, it might be when I propose to Mariah. So I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Well, we'll see when the schedule comes out. And then
so is she aware? We are recording, so she's aware of this being the case, or
proposal?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about it.
Oh, okay. So this can be on.
She just doesn't know.
Okay, yeah. Because
I almost shit myself. I was like, we're not live,
like,
but like, goddamn,
yeah.
this motherfucker don't give a shit. What the fuck? Woo!
Nah,
I got hot.
She just doesn't know when. She just doesn't know when.
Okay,
like, that's
it'll be around
the
time.
Listen, around the time. Yeah,
listen. Tell her not to listen. Anyway, so hey, look, again, we appreciate and love all of you guys. Derrick, thank you again for joining us over here on this We Can Be Heroes. Listen, we're back. We're ready to take over this motherfucking world, baby. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
We Can Be Heroes. Peace out.